Check.
Each scar has significance. It showed the pain that was caused by my ignorance, ducking and dodging charges that they sit.
Yo, we back with another one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back with the God, Xcel himself, man, and this is the Xponent podcast. We're the God's pod,
we in
man.
the building. We here.
Yes, sir. We
And
took a
all
little
that.
break because of me. I had a lot of
Life
stuff
be
going
life,
on. I had to
man.
get ready for some production stuff, so life be lifing. But we're back on the grind, man. We had some great conversations over the last few weeks, supporting other podcasters and things like that going on. There's been a lot of good conversation going on. But where do you want to start this conversation today, brother?
I mean, so there's been a lot happening, right?
A lot.
I feel like in the last couple weeks, right? We could start with the whole school committee situation. Macho, what up? I just seen your video you just posted on online. You was cutting the kids' hair with special needs, making them feel fly and all that.
Fire.
That was a fire video. You know what I'm saying? These kids need that in their life. So shout out to you. And you know,
Yeah,
Macho,
salute to you for that.
We grew up together. I grew up with his brother Bebo. That nigga's a dancing machine, nigga. For real. Yeah, nah, we could definitely touch on the topic that was going on in Brockton. You know, everybody talking about the school committee and the National Guard and we need the National Guard, and everybody blaming everybody and everybody blaming the parents and everybody blaming the mother tags from people here. Everybody.
What's interesting to me is like you said, everybody's blaming everybody, but what the part that's being lost on this is it's everybody's fault. So it's like we can stop pointing fingers and start actually realizing we're failing these kids up and down the pipeline, from home to when they get to school, to what they're doing after school, to what they're doing in school. When I look at the landscape and I'm dealing with a lot of adults, when I'm talking to, it's different from when I was growing up, because I'm talking to a lot of adults who are way more judgmental than motivational towards the youth. It's like they're so content with like being in this era of just like pointing at the kids. And for me, not even for me, for history's sake, since the beginning of time, whatever we see reflected in our young people is a derivative of what we haven't supplied them as elders. When we were out ripping and running the streets during our time and going crazy, we had a lack of people around. We might have one or two, but it was not the general energy to keep us out of that space.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think that especially when we get on these apps, right? When we get on these social media platforms and shit like that, everybody likes to show their best cards, right? Like if it was a deck of cards, everybody likes to pull out the aces. And you know what I'm saying? And everybody likes to put their best foot forward. And everybody likes to act like they wasn't bad kids.
Correct.
Everybody likes to act like, I know some niggas that I grew up with that had great parents. Parents was upstanding citizens. Parents gave them all the tools and bred them up to be good kids. But when they went outside, they did what was to be done outside. Like, even for myself, I'll tell you right now, like, I had good parents. I had parents that did their thing, went to church, all that. When it was time to go outside, nigga, I was outside.
And see, I came from the opposite
my mother
side.
Went, but even still, like, my moms don't know half the shit I did.
Yeah, correct.
It ain't for her to know, right? She don't know, not even a nigga. She don't know 3/4 of anything I did. She has an idea, but there's some shit she never knew that I did till I got grown, and I told her, yo, you know, this happened, we did that, or this happened. So everybody being, yo, what's the parents, and it starts at home. Like, first of all, for some of you niggas saying that, you know, I know you niggas, right? I just want to be real.
I hate when niggas act like we don't know niggas.
I know you niggas. Like, I grew up with you niggas. I seen you niggas. And then I know some of you niggas' moms. And I know some of the people that raised you. I know that the way you lived ain't conducive with the way they wanted you to live. So for you to I know some of the shit that some of you niggas have done is in direct conflict with how you was raised.
Correct.
But now you're older and you want to seem like an intellect or some type of higher intellectual, higher being of higher thought. You go, oh, it's the parents because my kid would never. And then on top of that, not only do I know you, I used to be a mentor in the school with some of you niggas' kids. So I know how your kid act already. He's not you. The way he act ain't a reflection of you as a parent. The way he act doesn't give you the liberty to come on here and shame other people for maybe not being the best parent they could be because they got work. A lot of parents work a lot. A lot of parents be all out. Some parents got odd hours. Whatever the case may be, some parents are lazy.
Some of this shit is just too low hanging fruit, and people are not stepping back. I don't care if you have two parents, no parents, all the parents in the world, fucking godparents, substitute parents. I don't care what you got. If the system is set up in a way to keep people bottlenecked and keep things disruptive and keep people from being unified, and we're seeing that bleed into our children, then there's nothing any of us can really do unless we figure it out together. Because at the end of the day, we're complaining about something that's been going on since Black people and since people in general started engaging with the school system. The school system was not built to make the best and the brightest. It was built to make productive employees. It started to meticulate and move in a way where people can navigate themselves and become the best and the brightest. But overall, the system has been broke since the beginning.
People don't understand what the school was for, right? School was to make everyone workers, right? School was because at the time when school was prevalent and they were passing laws for school, that's when that's when factories was prevalent. That's why you go to school for 6 or 8 hours a day. Same amount as you work. You go to school for 8 hours a day. School doesn't measure the smartest or most intelligent person. School is based on memory and recall.
Correct.
If I can memorize a bunch of information and recall it when it's time to take a test, I get good grades. That's what school is. So a lot of times kids tap out because one, you're not teaching them nothing that they can learn, that they can use in real life. None of it is that applicable. Unless you want to be a science major, calculus is not applicable to you. Right? Unless you want to be a contractor, carpentry, geometry, and doesn't apply to you, right? Like history, we know the history they teach is perverted. In the history, the kids now know it faster than we knew it because they can Google it.
Correct.
We are living in an era where if a teacher says something, the kid can Google it and he'll know the teacher's bullshit and right there.
But let me play devil's advocate with that. So there's one side of it where they can Google it, but then they haven't learned to vet what they Google sometimes. Right, you gotta vet that shit.
Very true.
Like check your sources, dog. Because sometimes we have kids that are arguing with teachers and they're not realizing the sources that they're using, and they take Google as law. Just like the same way we took the encyclopedia and shit as law back in the day when we read things out of it, they take it the same way.
We didn't know who was writing. And what I'm saying is this. And the purpose of school is to teach you how to take and disseminate information, no matter what you get. Like, I remember science. Science wasn't my favorite class, but it taught me the scientific method of doing things. You got a hypothesis, which is your question. Then you do your trials. You set up your trials with different variables. Then you take your variables. You take your one control. That means that part of the experiment is regular at the base. It don't matter. It can never change. Then you add variables to the control and see how the change works. And you do it a repeated amount of times. And then that gives you a conclusion based on, it gives you that. Math gives you formulas.
Do you think, let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that there's there is a need for everybody to work together, and I don't want to put the onus on the parents. I don't want to just put it on the parents, but most of it is on you as a parent, only because we have to. So I get it. Society has people working jobs. We're working so much. We don't even have time to communicate with our kids half the time. It's crazy. Like everybody's on the go and has to get it. But irregardless of how much I work, how much I do, I still have to find some time. Now, this isn't going to work for every kid. But let me give an example. When we was growing up, right? Yeah, we were knuckleheads. But if somebody in the neighborhood saw us, like if another adult saw us being a knucklehead, that shit got passed back to our parents.
Oh, for sure.
We're in a space now where like a parent will hit up a teacher. I mean, a teacher will hit up a parent and say, I'm having this issue in class with your student, with your child. And because this parent, we got a lot, like you said it before, we have a lot of people that was like in the special classes that were disruptive, that have grown up and trying to act like they're holier than thou and better than, but they were a pain in the ass too. And you find that out when the teacher has to call the parent to say, hey, your kid's suffering with this or not doing this. They're dealing with the cell phone, and you as a parent then persist to argue with the teacher instead of reinforce a conducive learning environment for your children. I'm not saying this happens in all scenarios, but we see it a lot.
Oh, yeah,
there's a lot of
definitely
parents that are definitely not active enough, because education, the reason why education was never supposed to be primarily from getting educated from school. It was never supposed to be that. Skilled work came from dads passing it on, moms passing it on, the village passing it on, the community passing it on. Once we integrated and then like made the focus being test takers, being memory recall people, it got all fucked up because we have kids that can regurgitate some shit that's ready for a test, but have zero common sense. And that's where we as a village have to provide more of that, I think. I think that, yes, it's big on the schools, but that system was never built to be conducive, especially for brown people and marginalized and low-class folks. Like, it was only built to put your ass in Walmart. And now they're automating out your job so they don't need you. So now the new commodity is school is becoming a prison, a pipeline to prison. They can literally directly correlate the numbers of recidivism that you'll see in prisons versus the graduation rate. The studies have been done. We hear it. People will type about it. But sometimes I feel like this social media apparatus, this thing has made us too apathetic to just type it and not actually step into it. That's why I'm glad. Let me just finish. That's why I'm glad to see yourself, John, Mike stepping into his bag and getting into space, because it is substantially different talking on here than stepping into space and seeing how things actually work in school boards, etc.
Yeah, because all things in theory aren't good in practice, right? All things in theory, I can theorize I can tell, for instance, Macho, I want fucking, yo, Macho, nigga, I want you to fucking, you're a barber, I need you to cut 100 heads in 3 days. Because the theory is a haircut should take 20 minutes, and if you start at 8 and end at 8, nigga, that's good in theory till you get in a barbershop. And then you have a haircut that takes 45 minutes because you're not only having a haircut, you end up having a dope ass conversation with the niggas.
Correct.
Whose hair you cutting, and now it blows your whole theory out the water. So I think for a lot of people, it's easy to speak on because you ain't been there. I've been there. I know what it is. I know that in the school system, I know Brockton High. Let's just say Brockton High. Perfect example. Brockton High has 5,000 human beings in there. School, kids.
I went to Madison Park and we had like similar class size dynamics, and it's hard to control that. It's hard to do anything with that.
Nigga, 5,000 adults is hard to fucking make.
It's ridiculous. Yes, correct. That's a stadium. That's a small stadium.
That's an arena, a small stadium, right? Of people, right? So even if they're moderately or decently behaved children, where they're doing like little knucklehead shit, it's 5,000 of them. The school, I don't care how much you want to blame parents and motherfuckers schools have to be properly staffed, right? They gotta be properly staffed. They gotta have people in there that care about what's going on. Teachers can't call out en masse. Shit like that is happening at these schools. 30, 40 teachers call out at a time. Motherfucking Schools not properly staffed. Fucking, you got a bunch of shit. Ain't just starting at at the high school level. Just starting at elementary school. These
Well, this
kids
is why
are.
the state is working so hard right now to provide. Because, like, think about it. Like, you know this. We know this as parents. Think about the financial decision that you have to have two people working in the household to maintain this domain. And in your earliest part of a child's development, their childhood, that part is very expensive before they get to regular school. So imagine that a parent is working a job just to pay off early childhood education.
Yeah, daycare.
Now you're paying for daycare. That's squeezing you because it's extremely expensive. You got to cover all the other things, and you literally have one person working a functioning job just to pay daycare. It's at the point where it's like, okay, how can I sit down and read with my child when I have to like run this rat race to keep this thing going? But we have to. I understand. Like, I get it. It seems almost impossible, but we have to. Like,
yeah,
I don't have, my kid comes to me at night. And we're a reading house. Like, I'm big on that. And that was not, I provided the things in my house that I did not get. Right. And I can tell you right now, as a parent, put this shit down. If your child comes to you and says, hey, I got this good grade on my report and you're doing this. Hey, I got this good thing going on at school and you're doing this. The moment that we stop as parents, as a community too, as villagers, encouraging them and acknowledging in the good stuff that they're doing, then they lose the incentive system. And the only incentive system that they have left is their peer group, the streets, and whatever else they fall into.
I'll give you a perfect example. When I used to work in the schools, we used to have elementary school kids. We used to ask them when we first meet them, what do you like? And they'll be like, I like Hot Wheels, or I like fucking Pokemon. Or
yeah, yep.
They're fucking the second graders, so they like that. They're at that phase. So we keep them on a chart, or we check in with their teachers every week. And if their teachers is like, little Johnny did what he was supposed to do today. Johnny, you know what I'm saying? Johnny did well, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the Friday, we bring them something, whether it be a Hot Wheel. Nigga, Hot Wheel is $1.29. You understand what I'm saying? A Pokemon pack of Pokemon cards $4. But it keeps him accountable because he's like, oh, nah, I got it. Oh, nah. I can't be fucking up my Hot Wheels. You know what I'm saying? I can't be fucking up my Pokemon card. Like, but a lot of times kids do act out because when they do well, we don't treat them like they did well. The only time parents overly respond and give them a lot of attention is when they do bad shit.
When they do bad, correct. So and we got to stop doing that.
In their brain, like, oh, nah, this is the only way to get mommy and daddy's attention. I got to do a bunch of dumb shit. Because if I get A's or if I get good grades, they don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck. If I get good grades, they don't care. I just told my mom I got 100 on the test, and she just kept scrolling on Instagram. But let me punch a nigga in the face, nigga. I get all her attention for the week.
Correct.
And so I think a lot of times when it comes to the school system, we're just speaking on Brockton High, in Brockton, period. Yeah, it's from the top down. They failed them kids. Period.
Correct.
At the end of the day, we could argue about who's at fault, regardless of the fact the kids are failing it more than anybody, right?
Correct. I think all the adults, like my stance on this still, no one is escaping. If you live in Brockton, I don't give a shit if you don't have kids. If you live in Brockton, you share some collective responsibility. We used to care about our village as a general. And if we're failing our young people in the most important aspect of what they need, which is food security and fucking education. And here's what's even crazier. The same kids you notice about the schools. Imagine back in the day, there were jobs that were normally known to be teenager jobs. The economy is so bad that the grocery bagger is an adult working in that space. I'm not knocking them because they have to do what they have to do, but these were jobs that were relegated to keep some kids out of the streets. You got kids, 5,000 kids in the school. There's not enough work to go around. There's not enough community programs. There's not enough extracurricular shit. What are they left to? What are they left to other than being in the mix? And this is not reflective of like majority of the students. The majority of those students, by and large, are trying to get a good education and stay focused. But we know how this works. You can have 15% of that population make the entire group look a certain kind of way, and then it creates this stigma where we have adults fighting with each other and arguing over pointing fingers, school committee, school board, instead of just coming together and say, yo, we are failing our children.
Yeah, because even with the Brockton High situation, it ain't all them kids. It's a good 15 to 20% of them. The ones that they can't kick out or they can't expel for whatever reason. So they don't go to, I can tell you, they don't go to class. They just walk around all day looking for the shits. And when they find the shits, then because they know there's no repercussion for them doing whatever they're doing. Everybody, it's been a failure all the way across the board. Now, what I will say for adults, pointing fingers at each other ain't gonna solve the shit. Like, you don't be the guy. I was at the meeting. Where was you at? You wasn't at the meeting. What the fuck's going on? Because my nigga,
shit don't help nothing. It don't help nothing.
It don't help nothing. As somebody who did this work for 6 years, I was there when nobody was there.
The better tactic is to say, come out of the meeting and say, I need you. Yeah. Don't judge, niggas. Say I need you.
Like what Mike did last night. Call to arms. I respected that. Like, yo, we need to be there.
Correct.
Right.
I have an event going on Tuesday morning with the Y, and I have 100% intent on pulling up to the committee meeting in the evening, even though I'm not from Brockton. Just because he asked that way, I'm not even from Brockton. I'm going to drive to Brockton to support him because of the way his approach. You cannot engage a community that is already torn and dismantled, dealing with a whole bunch of different social pressures. They're looking at the TV, the world is crazy. They're looking on their phone, the world is crazy. They're talking to the kids, the world is crazy. And then we can't talk down on them and then tear them down for living out the product that this country has provided people living in certain areas.
This is a fact. My thing is, you can never shame nobody for. You can't say you walk in a positive space and shame somebody. It'll be like me the first time a motherfucker walks in the gym. I go, nigga, where you been at, nigga? I've been
where you been at,
lifting, nigga? Where you been at, nigga?
Weak ass nigga.
Weak ass nigga. Oh, you can only put up 85 on the bench press. Like, nah, my nigga. That's gonna make him not want to go to the gym.
Correct. And there are some people, you learn how to learn people, right? I'm the person where, like, Xcel, if I came into the gym and you hit me with the weak ass, that's what I gravitate to. But that's why we have to have good communication, because when we first start dealing with people, we can set those expectations. Me and you've had that where it's like, no, I'm a pain in the ass friend. I'm gonna hit you up and tell you, you said you want to do this, we're gonna do that. It's setting the expation, and you do that very well. I think more of us can learn from that approach on setting a good expectation.
1,000%. And you got to learn the people you're dealing with. But whenever you're speaking to the masses,
yes,
and you're speaking in mass, you have to all understand that talking down is not the way to get people to galvanize. You're never gonna get people to ride with you. Like, it'll be like Malcolm X seeing a nigga in the street and be like, "Why ain't your life clean, nigga? I went to jail. I cleaned my shit up. I thought you were just that nigga. Why you ain't?" Nah, because at the end of the day, it's like a football game. The lineman ain't supposed to be catching passes like a receiver. That's not his job.
Yeah.
His job is to be the lineman, nigga. Everybody's job ain't to speak. Some people are not public. Some people are not some people don't want to be front facing all the time, right? Some people don't want to be, yo, well, I put the suit on and I'm going to stand here and be politically. That's not it. Like, as eloquent as I talk and all that, and I don't like doing that shit. I'll do it if necessary, but I don't. I'm the guy, like, yo, what we going to set up to help these kids? Because that's where it's at. It's the work part. Like, what are we going to implement When it's time to start implementing shit and moving, that's when you see me in the front lines when it's time to start moving around, shaking. Oh shit, oh yeah, we about to move this over here. We about to do this over here. Okay, we're gonna lock this down. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the chessboard of life, nigga, all the pieces don't do the same thing.
Yeah, correct.
All the pieces, the rook moved that way because that's how it's supposed to move. The knight moved that way. So you got to learn that shit. And when you're speaking in mass, talking down to people, you can turn them off. You can take somebody who was, let's say, I learned this in personal training. When you meet somebody who's thinking about personal training, you encourage them or you let them make the decision for themselves. Talking down to them, because if they're on the fence and you hit them with a bunch of negative, do it, my nigga. Why ain't you doing it? You know what I'm saying? Everybody else doing it. And you push them too hard, you're going to push them off the fence. Now they don't even want to go back there. Like, nah, I'm straight.
Yep.
I'm good. I had the experience with this nigga and this nigga. If they all like that, if he's like that, they all like that.
Yep.
Like you might be the representation for that person that don't know nothing. So if it's, you go, why wasn't you at the fucking meeting? They're gonna be like, well, then I'm never going to the meeting. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Brock, with this school situation, it was a fail.
Correct.
Niggas got that COVID bread.
Correct.
Started spreading it around to everything else that it didn't need to be spread around to. And like everything, the bubble burst. And when the bubble burst, the kids got shitted on. That's really it at the end of the day. So now it's to the point where they feel like they need to call the National Guard when all they really need to do is hire everybody they let go of and implement the rule that you can expel the kids that need to be expelled. I hate to be that guy, but some kids don't belong in school. That's just what it is. They don't want to be there.
They're only there for the shits. Like, they're only there for that.
They're only there for the shits. In Brockton High, if you ever been in that building, it's easy to get into some shit in that school. There's fucking mad corners. There's fucking mad hallways. There's wings of the building. The gym is over detached from the building. If you get in a fight in the gym, it takes fucking the staff 5 minutes to get over there. Like, dog.
It's a campus. It's a campus.
It's a literal campus. It was at one time the biggest school on this side of the Mississippi. I think it's still like the third biggest school out here. So with that, one, that school needs to be properly staffed. Two, you can't when we was in there doing the work showed. So now you can't take that from us and be like, yo, oh, we need a National Guard. What the fuck you think them kids seeing military people gonna do?
What's wild to me, right, is like the people that said that are not the ones that are administrators or understand how the system actually works. And just to say that so haphazardly is problematic, because that's not how this shit works. And now let's do a little
need
history
a National
lesson.
Guard for teenagers.
Like, that's not how this shit works.
Insane.
Let's do a little history lesson real quick. For brown folks in particular, not just us, because other groups have done it. But we need to understand that, okay, this is the part where you say talk, because some people say this is where it gets tricky, XL, because what I'm about to say is just the flat out truth, and some people take hard truths as talking down. And that's where I cut the fucking cord, because the truth is the truth. When we weren't provide the proper resources, what Black group was created in our communities that went around and provided those resources that the government now has an entire framework built after? The Panthers. The Panthers created the WIC program. The Panthers created educational programs, after school programs, breakfast programs, all of this stuff. What I think needs to happen is I think that we need to take another look at that framework, stop depending on that system to fix anything, because they never have. We can apply pressure. We can keep pushing towards it. We can keep showing up to the meetings. In tangent to that, we need to create. I said it yesterday on the thing. I would be happy to help Brockton and a conglomerate of you guys set up a nonprofit street team organization that deals with your youth, because they are your youth. They're not the guy coming in from wherever with the degree that has a degree of separation now because he's leading on that. He's talking down because a lot of people with those kind of educational backgrounds upspeak, and a lot of them don't even realize they do it because it's a derivative of them being in a college environment. Sometimes they don't even fucking realize how condescending they sound to young people who are very savvy. Right. So I think one of the biggest solutions that we could look at that could put some onus back on us as a community is creating an organization that is focused on street teaming. And there's ways to there's no shortage of funding for that, because in fact, I would argue that the schools, they don't have the capacity. Like you said, they're short-staffed. There's money getting ripped off by certain people. That makes the whole system look bad. It makes all the teachers look bad, but most of these teachers are good people. They just trying to make it to a lot of teachers. You're living in Massachusetts. People look at the money teachers make. They think it's a lot of money. It's not in Massachusetts, bro. $100,000 in Massachusetts is actually $50,000. So it's crazy.
1,000%. Yeah.
So I think one of the social issues that we have to if we can only go so long to allow so many more cycles to go with these kids suffering, that we have to do something. It will have to come back on us, the brothers that's speaking, yourself, John, Mike. This is how the Boston Street Workers thing was created. You remember growing up, you ever heard of the teen youth empowerment parties?
Yeah, of course.
Like, we don't have those no more. We used to have BYCC, where we paid kids to clean up their own neighborhoods. Then they took pride in their neighborhoods. We don't have these things anymore. And I think that when the system cuts it out, the people are so used to being handed shit that we think that our kids' education and our kids' future, this is going to come from that apparatus that was never really built to sustain that in totality. It was there to give them the rudimentary basics, and then we as a community need to build on those roots.
And you always, I say that with everything. Like, you can't expect the same system that fucked you up to fix you. Right? You can't. It's impossible. Like, it's impossible. Like, they're not gonna, and even if they fix you, the fix is gonna come with some bullshit. Right?
Correct.
Gonna come with, we'll do this for you now, but 5 years from now, we need X, Y, Z,
You're out
A,
of
B,
here.
C.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy. Start with a youngin' in your hood that you see, that you know is going the wayward path, and put them under the wing.
Correct.
Yo, come here, little homie. What you up to, dog? What you on? Oh, yeah? This what you on? Okay, bet. Here's what we gonna do, bro. I'm gonna show you how to get this money this way. Because these kids think you can only get money via entertainment.
Correct.
Or sports.
Correct.
They don't know that macho, you could be a barber and own your own barbershop and be fucking paid just as paid as a nigga who is on YouTube every day. They don't know that. They don't know that you could fucking be Stephen A. Smith.
Correct.
Who gets paid millions of dollars just for running.
Or be the producer. They don't understand. You know, I spend so much time explaining to young people that whoever you see on the front side is, even if they're making millions, they're on the low end.
Yeah, for sure.
The face you see is on the low end, guys. So be enamored by it. Good money. Great, fantastic. The people that produce the product, the people that innovate.
Bob Iger, nigga. That nigga owns Disney. So when you see Stephen A. Smith, he signs Stephen A. Smith checks.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Correct. So people don't understand that right there in itself. Like, so it's easy to point fingers and go, yo, it's the school committee, it's to this, it's to that, it's to this. Everybody failed. And the funny thing is, here's also how niggas fail. Now that it's not a hot topic anymore, a lot of you niggas that had a lot to say don't have nothing to say because it was just a hot thing to talk about to get your page some engagement and clicks.
This is why if you notice, this is why I kept my conversation limited to certain people that were talking about it and didn't involve myself in the rest of it. Because I know what it is. I mean, we watched 2020 and all of a sudden, none of that shit matters anymore. So it's like, what? I've been living this since I started this mission in 2014-ish, when I decided to start pulling myself out of the streets, pulling myself out of the environment, not making any more excuses for anything. Like, it doesn't matter what. Listen, and this is where, again, I lose people, because don't confuse a strong message as talking down. Don't confuse me telling you you're not a victim because you're here. You're a victor. You can be victorious in whatever you want to do. It's just a perspective. And are there hurdles? You can give me every single hurdle you have, every single one. They're just that, hurdles. Jump them, get around them, go under them, persist. Life is a beautiful thing to have the ability to persist through your challenges, bro. And it's like, at some point, you do have to have, because like the strongest back for the program that I created called the Doers Lab, where we sent the kids overseas, they saw offshore wind farms, got bank accounts, and we're trying to bring that back for fiscal year 2025, right? But the biggest barrier between us and the productivity of that is I actually have to service their parents first. Forget me. The engagement can't even start with the kids. I have to engage their parents first. I have to spend a month or so meeting with their parents, sitting down with their parents, setting a tone, training their parents to understand my philosophy, my approach. So now they're bought in holistically. So now when I call and says, Lonelle called me, it's like dad called. Even if they already have a dad, we're co-parenting now.
Right.
But it's about setting that tone with the parents early. Don't blame them. Go say, hey, this is what I'm noticing. What are you noticing? Let's compare notes and figure out a pathway.
Yeah, and that's what we did. That's what we did as mentors, y'all. This is what I'm seeing with your child. This, what are you seeing? Okay, this is what you're seeing. I bet. But the thing about this, it's just, I tell people all the time, dog. This social media shit and these apps. Monetization was the worst thing that ever happened to the motherfucking world, bro. And the fact that people can get some sense of gratification by motherfuckers clicking a button that don't like you, that don't know you. The niggas say they like this. It's like the Shannon Sharp situation, all right? Everybody calls this man gay. This man has had 2 double hip replacements, a knee replacement, countless other surgeries because he banged his body up, pause, for years playing NFL football, one of the greatest fucking tight ends ever of all time. He's a Southern black man who talks with a lisp, so he's gonna talk funny. But ever since he hit that 50 million with Cat Williams, now he's gay. How come he wasn't gay when he was playing football?
Yo, bro, I get so like aggravated because like this has been the same playbook. Like, listen, we can debate the Willie Lynch letters all we want, debate the validity of them or not. You cannot debate the strategy, because there are people out here who debate whether or not this person existed. Blah blah blah. I'm not going through all of that. My point is what part of the Willie Lynch letters, if you've never read it, is not the actual strategy that we've been seeing implemented for hundreds of years, and it's still true today. Calling a black man gay to emasculate them because they're moving up. Listen, we've seen it. We've seen it. If you're a part of the medium, if you're not a part of the media machine and you're taking away from that plate, then these narratives start popping up everywhere. All of a sudden, because he had the largest viewing he's ever had on one of the most, it wasn't even really controversial. It was just it was a podcast. It was a fucking podcast. And now he's gay. Now he's Club Gay. Mike Epps is calling him gay. All these people. I'm like, what is that? Now, see, this is why I talk about us. Again, it's brown people. Because I don't see that narrative coming from nobody else but us.
Yeah, it don't, dog. Because at the end of the day, bro, Shannon Sharp, let me tell you something. He keeps his life private. He has said on his own show, I don't believe in public spectacles, because if you date somebody in public, you got to break up with them in public. All right? It's just weird. And niggas say it for jokes. Oh, no, niggas, it's funny. Listen, I'm all for jokes. Anybody who knows me, knows I'm with the jokes. I joke 99% of the time in life. But if we're going to joke, let's have some facts with the jokes. Right? I can't stand niggas that just say shit because, yo, God, that's funny, man. Nah. you calling a nigga something that you wouldn't call him to his face.
At all.
Nobody would see Shannon Sharp and call that, yo, Shannon Sharp, I think you gay, nigga. What's up?
Bro, then this is the craziest part. You call a man gay, a black man gay, I say nothing. Oh, it must be true. I say something, it must be true. You can't win once that card's pulled. You just gotta kind of like hope that this shit blows over and people stop calling you gay, because there is no proper response once you're called gay as a man.
We all have, if you black, you got Southern cousins and uncles, and you know them niggas move differently. You know that.
Very much so.
Nigga, I got mad family in the South. They move different, nigga.
Most of my family hails from Virginia area. Same stuff. They don't
walk like me, talk like me. They get their nails manicured, da-da-da-da-da. But they hunt and kill, nigga. They will fucking gut a pig right in front of you. The manliest niggas in the world.
What's funny is Eastern guys don't realize that to a lot of Southern guys, we're perceived as the uncivilized ones. Like, you don't take care of yourself? You don't do no self-care, bro?
Oh,
nah, nigga,
yeah.
We just out here in these bricks.
Country boys,
we just out here in these bricks.
Up top, they look at us like we're weird. Just like they look at us, just like we look at them. Y'all niggas, weird.
Correct.
Y'all niggas don't what? Y'all niggas don't do this. Y'all niggas don't do that. But my thing is this: like, when we sit around and disparage a nigga for what? Like, why would you say something that? And then it'd be the crazy part is it'd be niggas that I know you wouldn't say nothing to that nigga in his face if you've seen him. If you've seen him, you would ask him for an autograph and take a picture with him. You know
what you mean? What you mean? Like the every time we see a sports player getting accosted by someone verbally, and then they turn around, they're like, as soon as they look at the person, like, oh my bad, can I get a picture? Like this shit is we're in a weird ass society, bro.
It's weird. Because just 2 years ago, he was everybody's favorite unk.
Correct.
When he was on Undisputed with the GOAT James mask and the Black and Milds and the do-rag. And, he's a real nigga, dog. He was really up there with Skip on some real nigga shit.
It was all good a week ago.
Now he hit that 50 M's. Oh, nah, he might be gay a little bit because he allowed Cat Williams to talk about people you like.
I didn't even understand. Like, I was like, where did you get gay out of all of that? Like, where did that come from? Because now let's even go deeper, XL, because we talk about this. So y'all are saying that men can talk to who? We just watched two men have a conversation. Y'all called him gay.
Yeah, now he's gay. Men can't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he's gay all of a sudden. How? How'd that happen?
How?
Right?
How, Sway?
How? So then we have, speaking of Cat Williams, my man Cat was on Joe Rogan podcast, kicking that
completely different energy, but great still nonetheless.
Oh yeah, he has super different energy. I think because Shannon Sharp had cognac and Joe Rogan had a bunch of weed, so I think
yes,
it was just two inquisitive dudes, high as shit, questioning things, being inquisitive dudes. Showing off each other's mind. Like, yo, do you know about this? Yo, I was watching this. Yo, I read this. Yo, you know about this? What you know about that? Yo, Jamie, pull this up. Pull that up. Pull that up. And then there's people that are, yo, it ain't as good as the Shannon Sharp interview. It ain't, yo, Joe Rogan only came back because he got secret competition with Shannon Sharp. And he came back with Coward. Let me tell you something. I looked at Joe Rogan's channel today. That nigga averages 10 million views.
Yeah, correct. Like, what are we talking about?
He averages that. Like, every one of his interviews got 10, 12, 14, 24, 34. He averages that. Correct. That ain't shit. And if you know Joe Rogan and you follow his career, he's not competing with none of you niggas.
Nope. For what?
He don't have that mindset.
It was never about that to him.
He just said, yo, I just listened to a podcast where he was with, I forgot who he was talking to, but he was like, dog, I never planned for this podcast to blow up. I just did it because I like doing it. I didn't care if
Correct.
anybody listened. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I didn't do it with the intent of, yo, I'm about to make a bag off of this. He was just like, I did it because I like doing it. He was like, people didn't even understand what I was doing at first. You know what I'm saying? So
him and Joe Budden.
Yeah. So when you sit with people and he's in secret company, he only came back because No, he came back because his Spotify contract was up. So what?
But this is what I mean about like the society's minds, American society in particular, is the last 10 years has warped everybody into a petty mindset, bro. Like petty is okay now.
1000%.
When we was coming up, OGs to be like, petty some weird goofball shit. Like, what are you talking about being petty? Be men and women and humans and talk to each other. This petty back and forth ping pong shit that's going on is pickle. You know, it ain't tennis no more. It's pickleball, niggas. Niggas is pickleballing out here, bro. Like, we don't got time for this. Like, we there's too much going on. And I would argue again, niggas is arguing about Shay being gay or not. This one having a conversation, Monique's up there having a conversation, Joe Rogan. None of these people, like everybody, most of the people who are talking about all of these people, they don't even fucking matter to the people that they're talking about. Like they don't even care, bro. Like, so it's like you're wasting, when we talk about not having time to spend time with your children, but people have time to watch 4-hour podcasts and can't give your kid 10 minutes?
Yeah, listen, the feminization of society has led niggas to act like a bunch of girls. Now, grown men, like I'm petty. You know what the word petty means? Petty means you operate at a low level frequency. You're not even doing. A petty thief is somebody who don't steal for real.
Here it is, selfish, mean, especially because of having too much interest in small and unimportant matters. Retaliate against people who have criticized us to make us look petty.
Small and unimportant matters.
So if you're saying that you're a petty person, you're saying that you're a small and insignificant child.
You care about small and unimportant things, right? A petty thief is somebody. Joe Budden podcast is super fire. One of the best podcasts out. If you call yourself a petty person, or they say you're a petty thief, that means you steal small and unimportant shit. You don't steal nothing big. You don't steal nothing heavy. You're a petty thief. So you steal the $2 left on the table.
Yeah, you're a purse snatcher. You're not an Ocean's 11 nigga. You're a purse snatcher.
You're not sticking up. So if you're a petty person and you wear that on your sleeve, you just said, yo, I care about small and unimportant, irrelevant shit.
These are the people that care about comments. Like, bro, we got a little traction going on our YouTube. Anybody who's watching, like, subscribe, follow, share. But we got, we post whatever we want, bro. And we let the pulpit talk. We don't respond to none of it. We got some crazy hella racist comments on some of our stuff recently. You think I give a shit? Because I'm not petty. No, I'm too to the point to care about low grade conversation. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You can talk about what. If you ain't willing to put hands and feet on niggas, I don't care what you say.
Because it don't matter. Like
it don't matter.
Like, dog, I'm from the era. I'm a battle rapper. And I'm a battle rapper from the era when that shit was not what it is today. Rule number 1, they told me when I got in this shit, do not ever read the comments of anything.
Nah, don't.
Because just put the art up there and you hang the art and you let the people figure out they like the art.
Bingo.
They don't, they do. You just keep painting, nigga. Don't read no fucking I don't read no comments, nigga. When people say, yo, I don't like your shit, you know what I tell them? Don't listen to it.
Don't switch the channel, bro.
That's all the fuck you got to do.
Next.
I tell people all the time, yo, I'm Xcel, I don't like the way you battle. Well, when I battle, go out, smoke a cigarette, smoke some weed, do something. I don't give a fuck.
Take a break.
That's some shit that kills me when people tell celebrities and you lost me as a fan. You think they give a fuck about you? You're one person. They don't care. It's arrogant of you to think that they read your comment and they're gonna switch their whole profile to keep you as a fucking fan.
Because this is what social media has done. And what happens too is every time one celebrity Kevin Durant is a perfect example. Kevin Durant gives people that don't deserve a response online, and that begets more people feeling like they can get a response out of people. I'm going to take us into the next one. Hold on, let me see what he said right here. Society changed so much. Social media is now allowed shit the way children can now claim that they are girls and not boys. They're grown adults walking around as furries with costumes on. Listen, man, don't get me started on that. We have a kid. I'm not going to say the school or nothing. We're just going to say on the South Shore, we have a kid out here. I'm pretty sure there's more than one, but we have one in particular in my area who claims to be legitimately a cat and is allowed to respond in meows. And the last I heard was they were debating about a litter box. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, this is what I'm saying about where we have to have, because we can't be talking about living in a democracy where it's like, okay, cool, that kid's going to be a cat. That doesn't mean that all of us have to subscribe to this kid's kitty play. But anyway, I digress. I want to go back.
Kitty play is wild. Drop him off at the vet.
Drop him at the vet.
If you a cat, nigga, drop him off at the
For
daycare.
real, like, no, you don't need a pediatrician, nigga. You need a veterinarian.
Veterinarian. Drop him off at the daycare. At the cat daycare. They got animal daycare. Drop him off there.
Animal daycare. Yo, you don't call a babysitter. You call a cat walker. This is crazy.
Yeah, fuck
this
it,
bullshit.
Nigga. If you think you a cat, we gonna go all the way. We're not gonna halfway do it.
So let me take us into the part where, because all of this conversation is dope, and I like to. People try to act like things aren't connected, and it's like it's all connected, bro. It's all connected. So the red pill, blue pill culture, and we were talking earlier about.
I thought you were about to say the red pill niggas. I was about to say, oh shit.
Oh, we're gonna get on everybody. But where I think that we've established like we're more purple pill minded, which is we understand that there's nuance and life is somewhere in the middle in the gray area, right? So when we talk about petty, which is a theme that we talked about, parents, schools, adults, and responsibility. Let's go here. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
How many of these parents is living in situations where they got two parents at home that know how to conflict resolve with each other? That's not petty.
Not a lot.
How many parents that are split up or have healthy enough dynamics that they're actually co-parenting it in a way that's not petty?
Not a lot.
So what we're looking at is we have people. I'm watching a generation of young people that are now trying to lead the conversation on relationship dynamics that learned from people who never had any healthy dynamics as an example in their lives and beget that energy. If you're following Andrew Tate, who's selling you a lifestyle that he doesn't even really live, you have to start doing some soul searching. You have to stop looking externally for certain things and start looking internally to build some character in yourself.
We look too externally for shit, right? So now we live in a world where women, like the genders, tell each other what constitutes the opposite gender. So women, ladies, I don't know how many of you are here. I don't care how many niggas you meet. I don't care how many brothers you got. I don't care how many. You can never dictate what a real man would do in any situation. One, because all men are different. Two, you are stating your ideals. You should say, what I would like for my man to do is this. You cannot say what a man would do.
Yeah.
Because in the things that you judge a real man by, men don't judge him by. A lot of y'all judge a real a man by, hey, you 3 out of 4 is a good number.
I was about to say that's excellent, bro. That's a good batting average, bro.
you hitting them hard, but a lot of y'all judge men by their resources. He could be a piece of shit dude, but he got the bag. So you'll let him slide over a good dude that is a plumber and makes fucking whatever, $3,500 a month plumbing. Because the nigga with the bag and the nigga that's on the screen, it looks better than the plumber. Right? Same with dudes. Y'all tell all these women they're what their body standards should be. You niggas look like sloppy and dusty out here. You niggas is looking crazy, but you'll tell a woman that she needs to have a body hourglass shape. She needs to do it.
But you know what's crazy to me is that in
Fix
real,
yourself.
how many people are like, what's crazy is that this is a phenomenon. Like, we would sit around each other as guys, and I don't remember this being a like large part of our conversation, bro. Like, this shit is turned into some weird shit from the guys who don't get girls trying to tell everybody how to deal with women.
When my homie used to tell me he had a girl, my first question would be, "You like her? You like her like that?" Yeah. All right.
Next. We still going to play ball? All right, nigga. Next.
You got a girl? Cool. You got a shorty? All right, bet.
Oh, got you, Trey. Backwards. Yeah. I can relate to that. I got a 2 out of 3 right now. 2 out of 3 right now. I got two being cool. Actually, I'm not going to front. I got one that's just non-communicative at all. And just gives me the hardest time possible. I have one that is the boys are older now, so they can call me on their own. So that probably never really got better. I just had to let time do its thing and respect myself and keep growing myself. And then obviously I'm with my wife, who has been nothing but pleasurable. And what's dope is that because I learned from my mistakes, I didn't go into this situation with my wife and then therefore not have a conversation while we were still boyfriend, girlfriend, talking about if this goes further, what happens when kids are around. I'd already been through 2 situations where the kids are kept from me, and has nothing to do with my fatherhood. It has everything to do with their feelings about the situation of who I was as a man. I'm taking responsibility for the fact that I was a womanizer and a cheater for sure, but that's not enough to say I can't be a father, an active father.
Right. So you got those people. You got, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have all these people post all this relationship shit, and then get in a relationship and be the opposite of everything they just posted.
Correct.
So you just posting from your trauma. You
don't practice none of that shit.
You ain't about to like, I see girls, I want my man to do this. I want my man to do that. And then they'll get a man that don't do none of that shit that they said.
Correct.
So you just and you're carrying the trauma of the last nigga that was with you.
Correct.
The last nigga hurt your feelings, so now you all niggas hurt. That nigga ain't. No. The nigga you picked wasn't shit. You something about your judgment was off.
Do you know how weird it is? I keep seeing people take advice from people who have nobody.
Word. That's
like that worst. Is so strange.
Word. Bro. Niggas be taking advice from Niggas be taking advice from single niggas. How? Niggas be taking married advice from niggas that ain't never been married. Because they pander.
Correct. Big time.
And anybody who panders, it's not good, yo. It's not good. And niggas sit up here, the men should operate like this because your grandfather. Nigga, do you know my grandfather and my grandmother went through to even have the relationship that they had? My grandmother and my grandfather, they lost their first kid they had 11 kids, but the first one they ever had, they lost it. You know how strong you got to be as a couple to maintain your marriage after. And it wasn't like just a miscarriage. No, the baby was born. He lived for like 2 months and then died. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to be strong, nigga, to get through it. You know how much shit you got to go. Everybody wants instant gratification. Niggas want to go to the gym, do 10 reps, and be fucking diesel.
Correct.
It's not how it works.
At all.
Niggas want to go.
And it's weird, too, because, like, everybody's talking about the pleasantries of love. Love is spelled H-A-R-D around me because there's nothing like once you get past the puppy phase and the things that you like, you have to learn how to manage and maneuver around the things that you might not. And don't be selfish enough to think that the other person doesn't have a list of things that you do that annoys them. Listen, I love my wife. I love the fucking ground that my wife walks on. She takes showers and she leaves hair on the wall sometimes and forgets to take it off because, like, you know, she's brushing her hair or whatever in there and she's like taking off the loose and it's like on the wall. I'll get in there and she might forget and it's like a spider web in there. I fucking hate that. Does that mean we're done?
Right.
I'm looking at people in relationships that the moment they hear something they don't like, y'all ain't even in relationships. Like, you don't even understand. Like, look up the definition of the word relationships. Y'all are looking for partnerships, like business partnerships, because what
they're
you're
looking
talking
for
about
they're looking
doesn't even
for
relate to anything.
you're looking for a child, a parent thing, because we walk away from what doesn't serve us. Life ain't here to serve you. You're here
At
to
all.
serve life. Relationship is being in service. If you don't want to be in service to the person you with, then you shouldn't be in no fucking relationship.
Correct.
Because at the end of
Correct.
the day, you're looking to be served. If you go in looking for something, nothing good works out that way. Anything you do, if you go in looking for, like, perfect example, this podcast. We know when we started this shit that the bag ain't coming. The bag won't come for another 3, 4, 5 years. We ain't looking for it because we know work after work after work after work after episode after episode after episode, then the bag's gonna come. But if we went in off the rip, yo, I'm trying to make a quick bag off this pod. Nigga, by episode 5, we gonna quit because we didn't get the money.
Correct.
If you go in looking for the gratification or the finish line first or the destination first, you're gonna fail every time.
Correct.
It's not how this shit is designed. Like, this shit is the journey. Like, dog, like, anybody who ever did anything great in their life, they'll tell you, yo, like, anybody who made it to the NBA, yeah, their goal might have been to make it to the NBA, but they know they had to put the work in to get there.
Yep.
There's a lot of niggas that want to go to the NBA, you know,
And
the ones
continue to work when they're there. They got to work harder when they're there.
and then once you get there, you can't slack off and be like, all right, I'm good.
Nope.
I made it. We here.
Nope.
What's up? Because you're gonna get beat. You're gonna get beat every day by a nigga that wants to be the best.
Yep. Every single milestone I hit in my professional and personal development requires more work at the next level. It requires it's like you play Mario, right? All right. Every board doesn't get easier. It gets harder as you go. That's
Right.
life. That's life. And it's like the moment that you can become somewhat stoic and accept certain truths of life, like example, nothing's fair in love, war, and politics. Nobody has to care about you but you, unfortunately. But that's just the reality of it. No one's obligated outside of, like, you know, and even your parents to a certain point. No one's obligated after a certain point to be focused on your issues other than you fixing your issues. Now, if you have people in your life that are there to help you sustain, help you motivate, help you do that, that's a bonus. That's great. That's awesome. But that's not a requirement to your process.
Dog, nobody's here to help just you. Nobody's here, bro. And if you're, like I said, you're looking for, yeah, exactly, perfect example, like cooking. Yeah, you don't put the food in the pan and it's instantly. You got to season it. It takes time. And then the more you do a specific recipe or cook a specific thing, you get better at it. So imagine this. If everything in life takes time, why the fuck you think you're going to meet somebody and then that's your husband? How does that don't even make fucking sense? You want a nigga to be your husband in the first 3 months, then you marry this nigga, and now all of a sudden, in 2 years from now, you on Facebook complaining because I date to marry. Oh, really? Okay. I hate when people say that. That's the dumbest shit in the world. I date to marry. So you're dating people with the intentions of marrying this nigga. I can understand you say you date seriously. Like, if you commit, then you commit. But dating to marry is like,
again, you're crossing the finish line before you even start.
You're crossing the finish line before you even lined up for the race.
And you're not even, which you're not like, because there's this idea of that, like, see, this is why I get tricky with this unapologetic shit, where it's like, I'm unapologetically me. Maybe you suck. And maybe you should apologize.
You are a shitty human being.
Maybe you should apologize.
Maybe you should apologize to some people because people don't. It never crosses. Yeah, that's fire. It never crosses. It never crosses people's minds that maybe they're a shitty person. You know why? Because people judge themselves from their own perspective. So by your own standards and your own perspective, you know all your intentions, so you know you're not a shitty person. But let me talk to a couple of your exes and see if they say that.
Yep, correct.
Let me talk to people you consider your friends. What does people say about you? What do people say about you? And regardless of the fact, because if you're a good dude, let's say you had an ex where you was a good dude and y'all broke up just over a situation that popped off. After the hurt heals and the time heals, they will at least be like, well, damn, we broke up. He was a good dude though. He was a good guy. He just wasn't for me. Like that shit wasn't what it was supposed to be. He was a good dude though. I loved him, whatever. I loved her, whatever. But if you was shitty, then you was shitty.
Correct. I was shitty. So when I got shitty reports, I was like, yeah, that's accurate. I'm not that guy anymore, but that was accurate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if you get shitty reports, then it's like, okay.
Assess that shit.
Assess that shit and be humble enough to be like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, have enough hubris to be like, wait a minute. Let me, because you know what? When sometimes people say things about everybody that is just emotional and it could hold no weight. We still should process it.
Yeah, 1000%.
I could process it and still be at the end of it and not agree, but the fact that I'm processing it is enough consideration and humility for me to say, okay, 1,000%. I've done my process of elimination. I've decided maybe we can agree to disagree on this one.
That's why that's the thing that cracks me up. Since we talking about women. A lot of women don't think they're shitty.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Rob said it right here. They don't know nothing about, a lot of them don't know nothing about that. Nothing. Yeah.
They don't know that they're shitty. You know why? Because they've been taught to be hyped up. They've been socialized that men are supposed to compliment you. Men are supposed to say nice things to you. So when a man tells you about yourself, they don't even know how to. They're short circuit.
But here's what's even crazier, because now they're like being trained in some kind of weird bipolarism. It's like, I want the chivalrous guy. I get the chivalrous guy. He's gay. He's zesty.
I want the chivalrous guy, but he can't take me to Cheesecake Factory.
What? Yo, when I saw Cheesecake Factory too much, I said, nah, I'm so glad I'm not in this game, bro.
Nigga, do you know how the Cheesecake Factory is lit, bro?
Cheesecake Factory's lit, bro.
Nigga, that's a good, you know what I mean? That's a
good time.
Because y'all, here's the point. Y'all are getting your ideas from rap songs.
Yes.
Right?
And social media personalities
Drake say fuck the Cheesecake Factory. But so now you can't go to the Cheesecake Factory, but your man is he works at FedEx. So maybe the Cheesecake Factory is all he got. He ain't Drake. Drake is the 0.000000000000001%
correct
of humans, nigga. Am I right? Am I wrong?
No, not at all.
Like, all right, so let's flip it.
Not at all.
I don't want to make it like we just shitting on women. Let's flip it, even for dudes. You want somebody that's like Beyonce, or you want a Rihanna, or you want Rihanna is the fucking 0.10000 of the women, nigga. You know what you got to do to upkeep Rihanna, nigga?
What's crazy too is that they want it like microwave food. They want it pre-packaged and ready. Like you said, they don't want to make the meal. They want to.
Rihanna didn't start out as Rihanna.
Correct. She made that meal, bro. Like, and people are just looking at it as like. Remember when it was just like an ecosystem that lived in like the sports arena where we knew about girls like this? That is in music, but that has exploded. It's the everyday conversation and dialogue now.
It's the work for your body versus BBL conversation, right? I know plenty. I'm a personal trainer. Me being a personal trainer and having been for a while now, I have been and working in the gym. I have a totally different view on bodies. There are people that will get a BBL and don't even worry about if the rest of it matches their body.
Correct.
Do no work in the gym. You could work in the gym and get the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, now, for all those, this ain't shaming, because if you got a BBL and you putting in work and you doing your thing, more power to you. What I'm saying is this. Are you aware of what that attracts when you get it? I don't like the shitty dudes, the hood niggas, da da da. Well, you just got a hood nigga signal attached to your back. You got the hood call. You understand what I'm saying? Just like dudes, I don't like gold digging shorties, but you flash your money first.
You're advertising.
Every post is about the bag, and niggas is getting to the bag, and 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 the bag. So then when shorty see you and she's like, "What's up with the bag, nigga?"
With the bag,
all you bitches want money. No,
like, is that bag? Hey, sir, is that bag a Birkin?
Right.
Like, what do you expect?
So then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I told somebody, like, and the other thing I be hearing when they be talking about, men should lead. Like, of course, we're leaders, but you also have to be a good follower. There are bad followers, nigga.
Good leaders were good followers at
like, I can tell you all of the fire shit to do. Like, let's just say we got a basketball team, right, Lonelle? We got a basketball team, and we coaches, and we drop all the we done won, me and you as coach and assistant coach, we done won 10 championships, nigga. It is proven in the fucking, we get a team of young niggas. We drop all the plays, and we tell these niggas, this is what you do.
Yep.
We just won 10 championships in a row. We just won last year, nigga. That's what you do. These niggas got to execute that to win the championship.
Correct.
If they don't, it's not we ain't bad coaches. These niggas just won't listen.
Nope. And we talked about this before. I use this acronym all the time for men that are having a hard time, even women that are having a hard time. Understand what a man is. It's an acronym. I've been using this. This is the way it is. I'm running with this. It is what it is. It's masculine and nurturing, right? So, like, let me give an example, right? Essentially, the only thing, how I operate with certain things I stand on in my relationship or my marriage is what I stand on. The only thing that essentially changed is my non-petty, non-childish ability to communicate what I'm feeling. A lot of the times, think about how many times you communicating something poorly just because you're fucking stupid.
Or you're mad. And
you're mad. That's what I mean. You got so mad that brain, that blood done rushed to your brain and you've gone blank. And the first thing that comes to you is the negative, toxic shit that you know. It's what you know. Sometimes you got to give people shit they don't know. And not even sometimes, more often than not, you have to have people engage with things they've never dealt with in order to expand. Perfect example. You know the deal with me. I'm over here busting my ass. I'm spinning the wheels. Sometimes I'm putting so much time in. I'm trying to make sure I don't drop by putting this time in, but I'm doing it so that my girls can benefit. So I'm supposed to be in Costa Rica right now. I had to give my ticket away, make sure that my daughter can go to her surf camp. She's out there right now. I'm literally tracking them on the phone. That's why you keep hearing my phone beep every now and then. And they're on their way to Costa Rica right now for her to surf. Why is that? Now, see, some people will take that as a stunt. You will take that as a stunt if you're a petty person and you're comparing your life to mine, or you're comparing what I'm doing to you. What I'm doing has nothing to do with me. What I'm doing has to do with my daughter. My daughter is going somewhere, meeting new people, expanding and learning new things.
Just stunned on niggas like I was in Costa Rica.
I know.
What you do this weekend, nigga?
And she's 6 years old and she's already hit 2 continents. She went to the UK 2 years ago. So, like, this is what I mean about
she like stunned on niggas. Like, hey, what'd you do this weekend, big dog? Oh, I went to fucking Costa. What did you do? Play with your toys, nigga? I was in Costa Rica surfing.
But this is what's dope about understanding that process, because that would have been me for sure.
Well, I would have been talking crazy when I got back to school. Oh
still,
my
I went to
God.
Africa when I was 12, bro, and I still be talking shit to everybody about
it. When I got back
I'm
to
like,
school,
nigga, you didn't step on the motherland.
Y'all niggas is bums. I was in Costa Rica yesterday. Y'all niggas is big bums.
Like, nigga, you never been to Senegal?
Yeah, I would have been talking. What?
I was starting. I was.
I'd have brought pictures and shit. Look at me. Look at me.
But I learned to. So like, okay, we talked about the Cat Williams things earlier. We talked about Thoth, right? And we also talked about like all the origin stories you can look at. Every single one of them, including Jesus. Why would Jesus, all-knowing, all-powerful, all omnipotent, Son of God, go to Egypt to learn? And his message got enhanced after he went through Egypt, aka Kemet at the time, right?
Somebody taught him.
Correct. So it's not you. Some of y'all look at travel and I used to. Travel is just a fun experience. You've gone to another area code, did the exact same thing you do at home, and didn't expand at all.
Yeah. I see. I don't do that. Whenever I go anywhere,
now, go have fun, but go visit a museum.
Yeah. Or let's say you don't want to go to.
Go talk to people.
Go find out what the people do there, and go do that.
Yes.
Like when I go anywhere I go, I hit the people that's from there. Yo, I know it says right here on this fucking Google that where do y'all eat?
Correct.
What's y'all's fucking like when I was in Cali, nigga, I bought tacos off the street because my man was like, yo, this is the spot right here, nigga. All right, we here then. Went to Philly. Where's the cheesecakes? Where's the cheesesteaks at? Not the ones that's advertised.
And it ain't Geno's and Jimmy's.
Yeah, it ain't Geno's or Pat's, nigga. Where was I? I went to Ishka.
My bad. Yeah, Pat's.
I went to Ishka Bibbles because that's where niggas.
I went to Ishka Bibbles. Yeah, facts.
That's where we go. Right across from TLA. That's where we go.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I went there. Like I went, you know what I'm saying? You go where let's say you're not a museum nigga. Let's say, find out what the people do and do that. It's a learning experience. I went to Chicago.
I don't want to just say museum.
What y'all do?
Anything.
How y'all move?
Correct.
Oh, this what y'all do, nigga? Y'all eat jerk chicken tacos in Chicago? I went there. I went to the jerk chicken taco spot. Like, I did all that. I went to Portillo. Like, and then you have more shit in your arsenal. You got more shit in your bag. Your perspective is better. You know how people think in different areas.
Correct. Yo, let me tell you a funny story. So I went to Miami a couple of years ago. It was during South Beach time, but I wasn't there for that. Like, I mean, it was during spring break, but I wasn't there for that. We were there to see the art decor and all of that good stuff, whatever, right? So another one of those scenarios, right, where it's like sometimes people are engaging us and we're so combative to them, especially us being massholes, that we give off energy. But when we go to other places, we have to understand that we're shrewd people comparative to other places in this country. So when I went down to Miami, there was we're dickheads, bro.
But one thing I say about us East Coast people, we're dickheads. We will help you while like being a dickhead.
Bingo.
Like, if your tire gets flat,
we're gonna talk shit.
We'll change your tire, but we're gonna talk shit.
We're gonna talk shit the whole time. What the fuck
did you hit? Why did you do that, though? You ain't see the shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? Let's get you the fuck up out of here, B. I don't understand how you next time be safe, my nigga.
So when I was in Miami, I'm outside and I'm just happen to be doing my 1-2. I was just doing my 1-2, and these two older gentlemen were sitting outside the hotel enjoying cigars, and they started talking to me. And my masshole self, I was like, "What's up? What these old white men want?" In my head, even though I do all the work that I do, every single time I'm engaged with, I have to bust through that wall. Every single time I'm like, "Stop that one now. See what this guy's engaging you for." Next thing you know, I'm sitting down with this dude. We're sitting there. I'm smoking my first Cuban with this guy. He's teaching me how to smoke a cigar. I knew how to smoke it, but whatever. I played the game because that's the game. So then the next day, we're up in a fucking penthouse hanging. We're up in a penthouse that we got invited to, hanging out with Tyler Hero and his cousin and all these people. Top floor, this hotel. It's like, it was wild. Just me and the missus. Like, this is what happens when you go around and you talk to more people. You never know what you can land yourself in. But if we keep talking to each other, think about how crazy it is that you can be from somewhere like Massachusetts, which is one of the smallest states in the entire country. You now, on top of being in a small state, When you go to places like another city, y'all make it seem like it's a vacation. Again, I'm not talking shit. I'm just telling you about the smallness of our perspective, especially because where we live geographically. We take this whole big thing about we're city of champions, we're state of champions. Okay, cool,
yeah,
but we're also very, very, very small. And that can be a derivative of having a smaller mentality too. We have to get out and engage people, and especially my brown folks, engage more people, because fear and the mental blockers that we put on ourselves to not just talk to people makes us miss a lot of opportunities. I'm going to do the YMCA tomorrow. I did not have this account a year ago. How did I get this account a year later? I was at a birthday party, had nothing to do with my business. This woman was there that knows my wife. They know what I do in the community, but they knew from a distance. When the woman actually talked to me, she said, damn, this guy is like, he does the work that he does, but he's also so committed that he shows up and he's willing to do other things, just other things. Like when I show up to an event, you can hire me for production, but because it's in my nature, I'm also security. I'm also, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm all these other things because it's in my nature. Sometimes we nickel and dime ourselves into these niche bags so much that we're not using the volume of our talents to maximize our opportunities. And we're not increasing our volume of being able to communicate with one another. Communication is so big on expanding your opportunities.
You can find yourself in like I got homies in Maine, white boys, Maine, in the rural parts of Maine. Like I got homies, I got people everywhere. Like
correct,
I can tap into wherever I want. You know what I'm saying? And in my perspective, I got people in different countries, UK, London, fucking Australia, wherever. Like once you get to these different perspectives and different energies, then you're like, oh shit, this shit is real.
Yeah, so I want us to get global. I want us to get global, guys, and not just online. Get up, get out into space. I know it sounds expensive. You would actually be shocked at how inexpensive it is to travel to certain places. You would be shocked. You spent more at the club on a weekend.
You spent more on a bottle than a flight. You spent more on a Gucci belt. That Gucci belt you got, that's a flight somewhere.
Like, let me give you an example. I don't give a shit about the Mount Rushmore. Don't give a shit about none of those faces up there. I'm still going to visit it to see it, to understand the engineering, to see it in person. I'm going to go see the Hoover Dam, to see it, to understand the magnitude of the work that was done. I'm going to go see the Grand Canyon, to understand the magnitude of the work that nature has done for us. This is what I loved about the Joe Rogan and Cat Williams conversation, because it really was expressing how much everything is connected. It's all 1,000%. Connected.
1,000%.
So when we have a societal issue with folks being petty, and we see those petty dynamics that are now socially norms worked into our family dynamics, our school dynamics, our healthcare dynamic. I mean, you got to think about how ignorant you are to walk into an epidemiologist and tell them that they don't know what they're talking about.
Or tell Neil deGrasse Tyson he don't know what the fuck he talking about when it comes to space.
Like, who are you? Who are you people?
Homie is an astrophysicist. He been doing this shit since he was fucking, I don't even know.
Since forever. You know what's funny? So he told a great story about how he met Carl Sagan, right? He was just a regular kid. He met Carl Sagan. He sent him an email, right? This is what I mean. This is a great example of communication. This was the seed that was sowed that made Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? So he sent the email to Carl Sagan. He was interested in visiting the planetarium. Carl Sagan sent him back an email, then shipped him a copy of his book, signed the book, and then invited him to come visit the planetarium, the Hayden Planetarium. The Hayden Planetarium that he now is the director of and has been running for like a decade.
That's fire.
Just because he sent an email, guys, an email. Let me tell y'all something. People used to always ask me, how do you book with all of these artists that you was booking with when you was working in the industry? I messaged them. I messaged everybody. I literally just messaged people. And then if I know that the person that responded to me is the help, I now incentivize the conversation to make it clear on this side, I'm not the help. I want to talk to a decision maker. The reason why I cut out the meat, I don't like dealing with. When I call customer service, I don't even waste 2 minutes. I'm like, I want to speak to a person who can make decisions.
Yeah, of course.
Straight to it, guys. Learn how to cut straight to it. My wife has taught me how to ask for the manager in a respectful way. My wife can be a little crazy.
Nah, because you know the women, they do that. They're fucking.
They be a little rough with it. You know what I'm saying?
Women get crazy. Like, yo, I want, like, yo, they're gonna spit in my food. Like,
but practice this.
You know what I'm saying? You heard, bro?
Yeah,
they're gonna spit in my food.
They can spit in my food, bro. Like, don't be mean to this lady.
Don't be mean
to
this lady.
I had to explain the rules. Certain people that you never insult or demean your accountant, your priest, your doctor. There's a couple more.
The person that handles your food. You never.
Oh yeah. The person that handles your food, and there's one more I can't remember right now. But the point is you know, people keep I don't care how many positive quotes y'all share. If you don't live that, if you don't embody it, if you don't practice it. In fact, I would argue that I know that you live it and embody it. If you stop sharing quotes and start making some of your own. I wake up every day and say, what quote can I provide to the lexicon? Not something that I'm picking up from somebody else, but what can I provide? I posted a picture the other day and I said, remember when I was being loved for all the wrong things, and now I'm hated for all the right things, and I'm good.
Killed them.
A lot of people don't, that goes over a lot of people's heads. Bro, I have more support when I was out here being a knucklehead, ripping, running the streets, womanizing, because it was useful. Everybody's like, oh, Lonelle's got the shorties. Let's roll with him. Lonelle's booked with Fabulous and Jada Kiss. Let's roll with him. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But the moment I said, hey, guys, I'm going to focus my energy to my community, my family, because this shit's not working. Like, this shit's not working. Like, it's clear it's not working for the general. Like, it'll work for me. It won't work for we. So I'm trying to do something that's going to work for we, and we's not going to be everybody. It's going to be the people that can make the change. If I have 100 people that I'm dealing with, and I can just get 5 of them, just 5. Boy, do you know what kind of damage we can do with 5 productive, synchronized, synergetic people in a space?
This is a fact.
Just ask any of your leaders that existed before us. It wasn't the huge conglomerate. The Million Man March was after all the work was done by a small collective group of people that decided to put their focused energy and efforts around a issue. Then everybody else caught on.
Yeah. Dog. Well, it's like that most of the time. It's like that most of the time, bro.
I have a harder time. Do you understand? I have a hard time making friends now because I don't cheat. I don't rob. I don't steal. I don't drink. And I don't even understand everything I just said. I don't expect from the other person that I'm dealing with. If you're my friend and you cheat, you rob, you steal, all you're ever going to get from me is, bro, maybe you should just, chill out with that a little bit. But I'm not going to judge you. You got to live your life, dog.
Yeah, that's 100.
But people get into an inferior space where they feel like they have to compete with everybody that they feel like is doing something positive. When I assure you, I am still a piece of shit. I'm just a piece of shit that is trying to grow, and I'm turning myself into manure and making it compost and making it productive. But I'm still a piece of shit, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't think of myself as some, like, people, like, when Mark talks about us, he talks about us two as the most intelligent people that he knows. And I'll be so he talking about my dumb ass. I'm dumb as shit, bro.
Listen, bro. In the words of my brother Sean Price, I'm a reformed piece of shit. I'm a reformed asshole. I just realized that I was an asshole and stopped being an asshole.
That's it.
But I'm still an asshole. My first initial thought is always asshole.
Correct. Always. I just filter it now a little bit.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I just filter it. Yo, fam, you can't say that.
I decide, like, all right, even in my marriage, sometimes listen, there's a time and place for everything. Sometimes women go through things, like they have their illogical whatever. It just happens. And again, expecting that to stop is illogical. If you understand the history of women and men in this world, this has just been the way it is. And if you understand how to actually listen, when a woman is seeking security, give her fucking security.
It's very simple. It's very simple.
When my wife is like, are we okay? Yes, we're fantastic. Come here, slap your ass. I love you. What are you talking about? You all right? Yeah, I was just making sure that okay, cool. Girl, You crazy?
Because they don't be knowing the things that
They
run through
don't
their
know.
mind when they have time to think is insane.
And imagine the
If you
content
don't
that
like
they're
me,
watching.
he don't this, he don't this, he don't like nigga. What? I'm just watching TV. How the fuck did you get? How did you
Like
get all
what?
that? Mama, I'm focused on some whole. I'm mad that Sting is retiring tonight, and you think it's you? Oh, come here.
You?
Let me give you a
Come
hug.
here, give me a hug, nigga.
What you talking about? I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm upset for. I'm
That
upset
ass
for
slap
a
is
whole.
crucial, bro.
Yeah, I'm upset for a whole different set of reasons
Correct.
that have nothing to do with nothing. I'm mad that my Sting is retired. You think
Correct.
I'm tight with you? Never.
Correct.
Fucking
And then
no.
what's crazy is that when you try to give folks some positive steps to take, their mind is so manipulated into not wanting to reciprocate or have a consensus with someone, like to concede some things, that they think, no, I can't do that. Why can't you ask your woman if she's okay, or she asks you if you're okay, if everything's okay, and you tell her yes, everything's okay? You know what some of y'all do? Your woman will ask you if everything's okay, and you'll start to go down the laundry list of things that have nothing to do with what she was asking.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with what she's trying to get to. She's asking about y'all, and you going down your list of other stuff.
We're not going to talk about that, Rob J. Fuck Vince McMahon.
Yeah. We're about to jump it. That's our last topic.
Yeah, fuck Vince McMahon for that. Not letting my boy fight fucking Undertaker. I don't like that. Yeah, we can talk about it though.
We'll jump into that for last, but let's wrap this up. So again, I try to emphasize, and I try to use myself. Sometimes using myself as an example also makes me a martyr sometimes, bro, because it makes me a target. Example, like I know that there are people that absolutely despise that I praise my wife so publicly all the time. I also know that I don't give a shit because I can't live in your insecurities. So folks have to also understand that I can't change who I'm not gonna not be a better me for you to be okay with you being a shittier you.
Yeah, fuck them niggas. Whoever don't like that is a weirdo.
Oh man, listen, I go through it. I go through it, bro. I go through it. It's I've had a harder time of dealing with people, friends, dynamics, and everything because there are requirements to being friends with me.
Right.
And you should have some requirements for me too. And we need to have those conversations out the gate. We're not gonna. I'm too old to be. We share a relationship just because we smoke weed. I'm too old to be. We share a relationship just because we watch the same show. I'm too old to be. We share a relationship. Now, I'm not saying that some of those relationships are cool at that level. But once you
speaking of shows, I don't know if you watched the new show on Hulu, Shogun.
I heard this is fire. I gotta check it out. Is it fire?
That shit is fire, nigga.
I've been seeing black folks sharing memes of them dressed up in.
Listen to me, my nigga. That shit.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. Yo, you know I love Japanese culture, bro. I love that shit.
That shit right. That's one of them things, nigga.
This is why I'm so mad that we dropped them bombs on them, bro. Because that was a brave ass culture right there, bro. And we emasculated the shit out of them.
Listen, let me tell you something, bro. That whoever wrote that show did it right. They was doing
fire. I'm glad to hear that because it wasn't like you remember like before appropriation was a conversation. There was a movie I watched and I said, "How is this a thing?" It was called The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
Oh, Tom Cruise, yeah. Give him
which is fucked up because it was a fire movie, but it was so appropriated. Now I will say this: it wasn't. See, I changed my perspective. It seemed appropriated if you just looked at the name of the movie and who was starring in it. But when you watch the story, it was about him acclimating and becoming a samurai, and he was rejected and put through harsher tests and metrics to become. They didn't want to accept him. So I take that back. It wasn't like complete appropriation.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I know what you mean.
But anyway, man, listen, the point is red pill, fuck y'all. Blue pill, definitely fuck y'all. Purple is the way to be. We are living down the middle. Take the purple pill and learn how to communicate, love, and be mature, bro. Because, like, listen to me. It is very hard. I know how hard it is. My wife has said very simple sentences to me when we were just dating that was hard for me to deal with, bro. She would say shit like, do you have to talk that way when we go here?
Right.
I was so focused on the talk that way that I wasn't focused on the accuracy of where we were. Like, yeah, nah, you're right. Why am I talking like that? Here.
Yeah, I'm bugging. What's going on? Yeah, understood.
Here? Like, damn, you're right. I'm at church talking like this here.
Wow.
So again, we have to, it's all a give and take. If you think you're just gonna be a receiver, then don't complain about the shit that lands in your lap, because you have to be able to give something to somebody too. You want to be able to give somebody your spirit and receive that spirit in return. Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Listen, what sobers me and what makes me think, notice I'm saying think, that me and my wife will last until I die is because I'm very, 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 very big on being self-aware enough for us to have the conversation. I've told this woman, my wife, one thing you will never have to worry about. I will literally wholeheartedly leave you before I cheat on you. Because that has nothing to do with her. That's a life lesson I learned. That was something that I instilled in myself and said, nigga, what are we doing? I can't be losing every situation just because I'm a dirtbag. So, and I've been, and since then, because I've been holding myself to that metric, because I've been holding myself to the mirror, and because I'm learning to be more nuanced with people, I've said some things here that were generalizations, and they're not accurate to everybody. That is a part of understanding nuance and understanding that I'm speaking to certain folks, and the folks that are not included, stop putting on the fucking shoes. Because you're in a trigger economy and you just want to be a part of the conversation. Shut the fuck up and stay positive.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Now to the honored moment that we definitely want to talk about before we get out of here, because we both are going to be getting ready for the pregame, which will be starting in about 20 minutes. So let's take about 15 minutes here to talk about the great one, the ultimate one, the man. Listen, this guy, he's my favorite wrestler, man. He was my favorite wrestler. Sting. Let's talk about Sting, brother. How do you feel about this, bro?
I mean, it's time. You know, he's 64, I think.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it's time. You never want to see him. Like, you don't want to see him because the face paint makes him ageless, right? But he's 64 years old. So it's like, it's time, bro. You don't got to put your body through no more. You jumping off shit, doing all type of wild shit. He gave us 30 years of life. 30 plus
years. Damn, yeah,
life,
for real.
of beating your body up, you know what I'm saying? Of jumping off shit, jumping off that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, it's gonna be sad to see him go, but he's a class act. Like, there's nobody in he's one of the rare dudes that you can't say nothing bad about him.
Jesus, 39 years he's been
39 years, almost 40 years. He's been wrestling since what, 83, 84?
Crazy.
So you know what I'm saying? He's one of the rare dudes in the entertainment industry that nobody has anything bad to say about. Like, everybody's happy. Like, and I'm glad he got to for people like that, it's dope to see them be able to make the decision to leave. And he didn't leave because he got injured. He didn't leave because it was just like, yo, it's time for me to, you know what I'm saying?
I love that too. No controversy, no craziness. Just I'm riding off into the sunset of winter.
Time for me to go. Like, he been a champ, multiple champ everywhere he went. He been everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta love that. You gotta love it, man. He's if you don't like Sting, then you don't like wrestling.
Yeah, correct. I like the different iterations of Sting that we've seen over time as well.
Oh, yeah,
like,
he went from the colorful guy to the black and white to the Joker Sting to the man. Listen, man,
he's one of the few people that all of his gimmicks were fire though. Like, even though he transitioned through them, they all were fire.
Yeah, my nigga, he dropped down from the rafters on niggas, beating up the NWO with bats and shit like that.
Correct. Like, oh man, I used to have a Sting bat, bro.
Gotta love Sting. And
I had a Sting bat. I taped the bottom. It was a metal bat, and I spray painted it all black.
Yeah, the only thing he didn't do was have his match with the Undertaker, which we would have loved to see. But other than that, like, what can you say, dog? Like, I'm happy for you, bro. Thank you for my childhood.
For real,
you
big started part in '85, and then you got your big break in '87 when you went against Dusty Rhodes, man. I mean, that is a hell of a legacy. Yeah,
it's a super ill legacy. Like, how can you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the man. Like, he's the man. He's literally the man.
He really is. He really is. Do you think he's going to be sorely missed by the AEW crew? I mean, we already know how WWE fans feel about him, but
for sure. I think he's going to be missed by the AEW crew. I think that I think that he's the OG over there. So whenever you're the OG over there, they're gonna help. They're gonna go with you. He how can I say it? He pretty much like helped them young guys over there.
Correct. Yes, he developed a lot of those guys. Yeah.
He's the guy.
So that was gonna be my next question. Even though he's stepping out of the wrestling space, which is fantastic, he's reached the age. I don't want to see the guy die in the ring. So, like, by all means, that's great. Because to be wrestling at 64 is amazing. Do you see him, stepping into more of a development role where he's going to be possibly like, because I wonder if after he's done retiring, will he play more of a role in AEW in the development side, or will he go back to his roots and maybe be pulled over to the WWE side? Because it seems like they've been taking a vested interest in grabbing Undertaker, getting Stone Cold back in the conversation, Sting, and stuff like that.
What I think he'll be a development. He'll probably be on the development side. He'll probably be in the AEW. I think with a guy like Sting, he gets love everywhere he goes. So
correct.
Even if he decided to go kick it in the motherfucking WWE for a little while, niggas would be like, all right, you're Sting. We fuck with you. We love you type shit. But I definitely think that Sting, he's a class act. So it's like, how he went out is how you want to go out. It's almost like Kobe Bryant when Kobe retired. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Everybody's like, all right, man, you dropped, you know what I'm saying? You did your numbers. To do something for 39 years is crazy.
It's very crazy.
And to do it consistently for 39 years at a high level is wow. And then on top of that, we talking about wrestling, which is very taxing on the body and shit like that. That shit is not an easy feat.
That's what I was like. Regardless of whether or not it's scripted, I would argue that it being scripted makes it more dangerous, because when you're in combat sports, you're taught to how to embrace for certain things, respond to certain things.
I'll tell you, Ken Shamrock said that. Ken Shamrock said wrestling is harder than fighting because wrestling is counterintuitive. As
you gotta let a person fuck you up.
As fighting a nigga swing at you, it's your instinct to block. If you're wrestling, you gotta let a nigga punch you in the face. You gotta let a nigga pick you up, slam you. You gotta lay there and wait for them to jump on you.
To land on you. It's crazy.
Yeah, so shout out to Sting, man. I'm gonna be watching. I'm locked in.
I'm about to get ready now and get that rocking and rolling. But hey guys, listen. Like, subscribe, share, follow the YouTube content. We're going to have a lot more stuff coming. We're still working out a lot of dynamics, but this is the building phase. If you will, it's the seed phase. So hang in there with us as we continue to provide better content, better experiences for you. I'm working on a virtual reality portal, but that will be probably coming out with the VR side will probably be coming out with the digital streaming platform towards the end of the fiscal year this year. So be on the lookout for that. If you're interested in podding or you just want to kick it with us, we are an open platform. We always invite people on. So if you're in the chat, anytime you say, hey, I want to jump into this convo, I will inbox you the link, no problem, and let you chime in with us, because that's what the Xponent podcast is all about. So if you're a viewer and you're ever watching, you don't have to be relegated to just commenting. You can literally say, tap me in. Actually, we'll start a thing. I'm gonna put a thing up on the screen every week now when we do something. I'm gonna say, just say you want to tap in. I'll put a little thing on the side of the screen and to say, let us know if you want to get tagged in, like a tag team thing. And then we'll tag you in and let you throw some of your thoughts on some of the topics that we're talking about. We've been kind of testing out because we talk about so many different things, we've been trying to test out like what kind of tone, what kind of things that we want to do, especially because we're trying to do 2 days now. And it's looking like we'll have a certain set of conversation for Sundays and a certain set of energy for Wednesdays. I think the Sundays is like the dinner table conversation, like we just had just now, talking about bringing people together. And I think our Wednesday show is more just for the shits. So understand, like, just like regular human beings, you're going to see some dichotomy of us. When we're doing this pod, man, we're going to give you many different variant sides of ourselves. But remember, first and foremost, we are just humans sharing our experiences with you and building with you. And we want to see you grow. We want to grow. So that's what it's all about, man. Anything else for the people of the God?
Oh, yeah, nah. Yeah, you said everything, man. Just stay tuned, tap in with us, and we're going to keep growing. You know what I mean?
All right, my peoples, we are out. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Xponent, where the God's Pod.
Definitely in the building. Check.
Each scar has significance.